Values Work, the show that focuses on value. I'm Judith West, and our guest today is Paul Sladkus, founder of Good News Planet, Milestone Broadcasting, and Good News Planet. Okay, wow. It's amazing, Paul. Thanks for being on the show. There's something called Good News Planet. The planet I know seems to be full of a lot of bad news.
No, well, we're very optimistic, and we've been broadcasting positive shows, including your wonderful show.
Yes, public confession. I'm linked on Paul's very fascinating website.
GoodNewsPlanet.com. We're inundated with good news content.
You are. Why are you inundated with good news content when most of the media seems to be obsessed with bad news?
Well, because that is all we accept, one. Two, and that's all we look for, two, I guess you could say. And to a major degree, that's how we see the world, that most of the world is good and good things are happening.
So tell me something. All serious, I mean, you know, all seriousness in this issue. Is there enough good news on planet Earth? You call yourself a planet. On planet Earth, is there enough good news to keep all of your outlets going?
So I say basically I'm stressed out from so much good news.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I figure there's probably, I could do, I don't know, 10 million stories today about people that are kind, giving, loving, caring, helping others. And
is that just because you, give us a little background of this philosophy, is that because you are pre-programmed your DNA to see only the best in people, or are these stories come to you, you find them? Tell us about them.
I'd say it's a combination of finding, creating, or receiving this content. Well, my background is, this will be my 40th anniversary in television business. So I started in with CBS television, and I went to public television, Channel 13, in the management ranks, going back to shows that were well-known, All in the Family, Sonny and Cher, right. Sitcoms, and variety shows.
Feel-good shows.
Well, they're either thought-provoking, like an All in the Family, or just entertaining.
Right.
I did a soap opera, and then I went to Channel 13. I started Nature series. I did the Brain series. So I worked on a lot of TV shows. But I'd say what really inspired me was that when I got a master's degree, and at Fairfield University that I learned that people actually believe what they watch and what they listen. So my thought, I was always like the president of class, a musician kind of guy. I said, so then let's just show good things. Most of the world is good.
So you learned and you came to believe that people really believe what they see, they emulate what they see?
By far. We emulate what we read in the newspaper. We think that's accurate. And we think that the television news is accurate. But meanwhile, if you go to, for example, museum in Washington, D.C.
The News Museum.
You'll see 100 front page stories, and the story will be a little different in 100 newspapers. So unless you read 100 newspapers, you still have to make up your own mind anyway. It's all your own heart is where you're going to see actually rightly.
Right. So you then became like a proselytizer of good news.
I am a proselytizer of
you like
good
that
news.
word, proselytizer?
It's an interesting.
I don't know how it came to me like this, I must say. Right.
Yeah, I'm a preacher. Actually, I'm an interfaith minister, but it's not a religious broadcast. It's non-sectarian. It's just a positive, upbeat, not beat up. All we are is what we are for each other broadcast. So hundreds of PR companies, hundreds of corporations. We have 5,000 shows that we've done.
5,000 shows that you've done.
Short form programming and our long form programming, World Peace Day, World Water Day, talking about people that are doing good things.
Do you do stories, Paul, about the ordinary person doing good things?
Give us my favorite.
Yeah, give us a little preview into some of these good news, these feel-good stories.
That's my favorite story. Actually, they're probably the hardest to get because they don't have a professional PR company and they don't have a corporation.
Ordinary American.
I would do a story with somebody helping somebody walk across the street every day. I would do 100,000 shows of that same story because it's a little different because it's a different person. So I have a friend, she's like the mayor of West Stadia Street, and she sits on the corner there. She's been there since I've been living up in that way over 25 years. And, you just have a conversation. People are wonderful, and, they learn, this person was a nurse most of her life, and, how she takes care of 15 dogs and cats, or whatever her lifestyle is, for me, is personally fascinating. And more importantly we try not to be judgmental anyway. We don't focus on how someone sings, how someone paints, how someone does anything. We're not looking to be critics and ruin somebody's career by saying, you can't paint, you can't sing, or so on and so forth. Or hurt their feelings.
You care about the feelings of people, right?
I do care about feelings, and I think that we should all care about each other's feelings because, I don't know, I don't feel I have the right to say things. I mean, I have my own personal tastes and so on and so forth.
Your own point of view, you keep it to yourself.
I kind of think it's, I mean, certain people think, if you have nothing good to say nothing at all.
Exactly.
But in essence, I don't know if it's constructive, if you feel that something that you have to say can be helpful to somebody in the most well-intended way, maybe, share it. But on our broadcast, and we're even executing an oath, a good news oath, because have expanded greatly, and you'll be happy to know quite soon people will be able to load up their own video, their audio, their photos on Good News, a whole bunch of new features on Good News Planet. And we're asking people just to submit positive content. Right. I mean, you can make fun of yourself, which I do a lot.
Yeah. Look how well, of course, it was a big news, but I saw over the weekend. I mean, this guy they caught the ball, Judith Ball.
Hey, what a
story that was.
That's a beautiful, beautiful story.
And it's a feel-good story. I mean, here's somebody that could really have profited from that. Not that he isn't anyways, but the truth of the matter was his instinct was to give it back.
Great story.
That's a story.
Prime-time story.
That's a story made for you, Paul.
Prime time. That's our main kind of a story.
Right. Tell me something. Can a focus on being a good person and having only and I mean, you have to be a good person to proselytize, to preach only good news, and your staff goes along with it. Is there enough in that to make it profitable?
As a business?
Or should I not use the word profitable with good happenings?
I think it's okay to use profitable, and we've been in business 26 years. Okay, so something has kept us going. I mean,
yes.
For a long time, we had after my 14 corporate years, CBS and PBS, we'd had a multicultural advertising and marketing company, another outreach on focusing to the different ethnic communities worldwide.
And you still do that?
And I still do some of that. So
if
someone needs help in reaching ethnic groups in America or overseas. And I always did that because I always wanted to show good news kinds of positive programming in the world stage.
Yes.
Then the internet came about, for us 13 years ago, July 4th, 1998, and we decided that we would start doing our program and get back to our TV shows and put it on the internet, which is a worldwide media.
Yeah.
Right, and it's a perfect media. You can do it in different languages, of which we do, and so on and so forth. So, regarding making a profit, the web is massive. Making money on the web is a phenomenal opportunity for people because you get many, many potential eyeballs.
But, look what goes on in the name of making money, in the name of being successful. This latest thing with in Britain, not using names, with phone hacking.
Well,
it's
a bad news story.
But some of these extremes, headlines about sex escapades, some of the headlines are X-rated, and they're on the streets for kids to look at as they walk by. It seems as though the more extreme the story, the more the media goes for it. I'm guessing to sell more papers or to have more listeners. You are one of a very few that stands for broadcasting good news.
Well, I think that, there's quite a lot. It's just mixed in, maybe more so, like in the New York Times. There's tons of good news, but maybe the front page,
buried, yeah.
The front page has some of the tougher situations in our life. and they report on those.
And which there are plenty of those.
Of which there are. We're definitely not in denial.
You can't deny. Yes,
We're definitely not in denial. And so there are not good situations occurring. What we do, and we talk a tremendous amount about not good. So we talk about cancer, we talk about 9/11s, we talk about all of that.
But you also have a bit of a twist.
The person that is helping the poor victims, the families. We talk about the
potential
health,
cures.
The medicines that are coming. I have no problem, just as long as one medicine doesn't say they're better than another medicine.
Right.
You say, so that's important to know. If that medicine could save somebody, I mean, you know, I'm not down on any company at all. I'm not down on gasoline companies because I drive a car. I'm not down on any leather company. I'm not down on anything. I have shoes. So, you know, we're very open. We just don't allow people to say negative things about anybody else.
You don't sit on one side of the aisle or the other.
I just, you know, everybody's...
You just take the aisle.
everybody's doing their thing. I think it's a nicer planet if we all are just plain old respectful. We're all brothers and sisters as well already. Right. In the big book of life.
So what's on the horizon for Good News Planet?
So every day we're putting up new content of different people doing good things or corporations and so on and so forth.
Are you gaining eyeballs on a regular basis?
And we have grown
I think that's the right term, is it? The
yes, it is.
eyeballs?
It's good.
Right.
Audience growth and clicks or unique visitors and so on. I've learned a lot over 13 years about the web broadcasting industry.
What's a unique visitor?
A unique visitor is somebody that goes to your website and it's goes through the website and then every time they click on something they give you a hit.
Oh, I
so
see.
A unique visitor is like just one person.
Okay.
So like that's the kind of thing you.
So there's plenty of there's a big enough audience for.
We have
news.
A big enough audience, and we
news.
expect it to be massive quite soon because we have this new interactive, user-friendly, state-of-the-art website with lots of bells and whistles, and so that's a good thing.
Is it something like a Facebook?
We are starting our own Facebook social network.
Oh.
We have, actually we have a movie called Good News Movie where we ask people usually, what's your good news? And we're tying that all together and looking at some unusual ways to broadcast that.
I mean, we hear good. I mean, I had a guest on today before you, and speaking of good news, she said her parents tell every time they wake up on the right side of the grass, that's good news for them. So I guess good news comes in all forms.
Man, my lawyer used to say, if you're not touching wood, you're in good shape.
That's good news. Yeah. Well, I'm happy to. I want to have you on, and thank you for being on there. If anybody's going to give, I see you're wearing the smiles today. If anybody's going to give this world some big smiles, and Lord knows we can all use it, it's going to be Paul Sladkus with Good News Planet. I like the name, Good News Planet.
Thank you.
Right. Thanks for being on my show.
Thank you, Judith. Thank you very much.
You're watching Judith West with Getting Your Money's Worth. Our guest is Paul Sladkus, founder of Good News Planet. Thanks for watching.